Hi everyone, welcome back to lesson 7.1, day 2. Today we are going to focus more on the solving when it comes to these different angle relationships. And what you're going to actually need is not necessarily your book today, but either a notebook, a piece of paper, or a printout of the notes I attached to the link in Google Classroom so that you can follow along. You can just, again, take it in a separate notebook as well. Draw the pictures yourself and follow along that way as well. And you'll definitely also need a pencil and a calculator. Okay, so today we are going to talk a little bit more again about solving, so setting up an equation and solving for our missing variable and or plugging it back in and solving for x. So in the first question, they're telling us that we have at line M parallel to line N. So we know all those angle relationships we've talked about previously are going to hold true because of this. Okay, so what they're telling us next is that we are talking about angle 1 and angle 5. Now, angle 1 and angle 5 are an example of our corresponding angles. And what we know is that corresponding angles are congruent, right? They have equal measurement to one another. So what we could do is we could take angle 1 and angle 5, so 125 and 3x minus 1, and we are going to set them equal to each other in order to solve for x. So everything's condensed down on both sides, so we can start moving stuff across by using addition. So we have 126 equals 3x, and then 126 divided by 3 is 42. And this question just wanted us to find x, so we get our final answer there of x equals 42. Moving right along, we have these parallel lines given again in the first part here of number 2. This time they're talking about angle 3 and angle 6. Well, here's angle 3, here's angle 6, and angle 3 and angle 6 are an example of alternate interior angles. And we know alternate interior angles are congruent, right? So from here, we can take those measures again, just like we did with the last problem, and we're going to take those values and we are going to set them equal to each other because we know those measurements will end up being equal. So to solve for x, notice everything's condensed down on the left-hand side and the right-hand side, so we can start moving things across using reverse order of operations. I'm going to subtract 5x because it's smaller than 9x. So now I have 4 x's. And I'm going to now have to add the 11 since we were subtracting it before to make it move across the equal sign here. So we end up with 4x equals 24. And when we divide by 4, x equals 6. Now, always, always, always check what the question wants. We are not done with just x equals 6. What we want is the measure of angle 6. So what we're going to have to do is plug this back in. 5 times 6 plus 13 is 30 plus 13, so 43 degrees. Okay, on that angle measure. Next one then, again, tells us we have parallel lines, this time A and C, and we want to solve for x. Well, looking at the two angles that are given to us, we have an angle there, we have an angle here. These guys in relation to each other are same side interior angles. Okay, and what we know about same side interior angles is that they are supplementary. So we have 2x plus 11 plus the 5x minus 27. They are going to equal 180 because same side interior angles are supplementary. Remember, SSS, right? Same side supplementary. Okay, so and again, these are interior because they fall inside of the parallel lines. Okay. Now in this particular problem, we're going to need to condense first because we have 2x, so we have 2x and 5x. So we actually have 7x's total. And then 11 minus 27 is negative 16. So now that we got everything condensed on the left-hand side, we could finally start moving across the equal sign by adding the 16. Just do that reverse order of operations there. So 7x equals 196. And then last but not least, 196 divided by 7 is 28. And on this particular problem, they just wanted us to solve for x, so we can circle and be done with that question. Finally, we have these parallel lines given to us. Again, given the lines below are marked as parallels. We've got those parallel lines. We want to, again, finish solving for x. Now, notice here this box on the outside. This is indicating that this is a 90-degree angle, right? That's perpendicular. And we also know that these angles are alternate exterior angles. And we know that alternate exterior or alternate interior angles are congruent, right? So we know that that 90 degrees has to equal 5x minus 5. Nothing to condense down here. 90's by itself. So we could start adding the 5 over. And then finally divide by the 5 so that we get x to be 19. And again, we wanted to solve for x. So we could circle our answer and we are good to go. So hopefully this helps clarify some of the solving. Again, setting up. The big thing, alternate interior, alternate exterior are congruent. Same side interior, exterior are supplementary. And of course, our corresponding angles are congruent. Thanks, everybody.